Hi everybody, it's March 4th, 2026. What I can say about good deeds is that good deeds, for the most part, when performed, they always net positivity coming back to you. And as I'm getting used to say, I don't know much about karma, but good deeds done in the right way are a net good for you. And I say this to say that sometimes you will suffer for doing good deeds. Sometimes you will be embarrassed. Sometimes people will smack you in the face for doing good deeds. Sometimes people will make fun of you in such a sharp way that it's going to pierce your heart and cause you sadness and cause you grief. But in the end, doing good deeds strengthens you, and it brings good fortune your way. And that's just the way it works. And my summation of why I believe it works this way is because, first of all, God is conscious on all levels. He is conscious on a human relationship level. He is conscious on a omniscient level. So on all levels, he sees what you are doing. And it's not that he pays you tit for tat. That's not necessarily how he operates, and he doesn't operate in the ordered schedule that we could comprehend, but he does notice you on whatever level you operate on. And when he notices you doing good, and when he notices you sacrificing for good, and when he notices that your heart is in the right place and that you have suffered in his name, he pays his dues always. So that's how that works. And this gets me to thinking about how the operations of systems can cause insanity, or can bring about insanity. And the first way I could think about this is that getting lost mindlessly in repetition. We get so reliant on the tasks that we repeatedly perform. We get so reliant on the gratification it gives, and for the confidence it gives us, and for the peace of mind it gives us, that the repetition becomes the mantra that you cannot question. And sometimes it gets to the point where you can't question the repetition, the consistent actions that you're taking. You may end up in a place of relative insanity. And an example of this is something I caught myself in. I used to exercise daily, and I increased my continuous time of exercise in one session to an abnormal amount, and so I caused myself injury. But I didn't want to stop because I guess I felt pride for exercising so much every day consistently for a year or over a year or so, and so I exacerbated my injury, and it came to the point where I was causing myself pain. I was going through pain, and I kept on exercising exceedingly. And this is the kind of insanity that comes with relying on a mantra, or relying on a repetition of action. Is that it started out for your health, it started out for your good, for your confidence, for your peace of mind, for your emotional healing, but it comes to the point where it could injure you. It can cause you more grief than when you started with. That's the insanity that comes up along with following a repetitious cycle without questioning it. So the best remedy is just assessing the necessity of your repeated ritual action and seeing if it is causing more harm. It's that simple. Seeing if it's causing more harm than it's doing good. And there's also an innate fear of moving on to something new, because you fear that you won't be as good at it as you are with what you are doing now. So you just have to be brave and assess the situation and be ready to move on. Another way that systems cause insanity is that your judgment can get skewed by being draconian on one theory that you have about life, or about an aspect of life. So if you believe that there is no room for weakness, Because, and this is just a general example, like this example I'm picking out the air. If you believe there's no room for weakness, if you're a follower of God, and you see people smoking, and they tell you they believe in God, they tell you that they live for God, but they are smoking. And so you condemn this person, all of their actions, all of their assumptions, all of their beliefs, you condemn this person because they are smoking, and you think that is weakness. You think God is not congruent with weakness. What this tells you, what this is an example of, is you have to realize that God gives that person mercy. If God could give them mercy, and God is perfect and God doesn't have flaws, but you do, and you're condemning them more than God is, that's intrinsic insanity with following a system that you have created that you think is righteous. Righteousness may not be fluid. Righteousness may not be conventionally arguable, but righteousness is of an order that exceeds human understanding in some instances, in higher levels of functioning. So do not rely too much on a system when it comes to your judgment and your doctrines. And the last thing I could say about systems causing insanity is when you are trying to transcend life, because this was like a concept that I loved as a younger person. I wanted to transcend. I wanted to proverbially open my third eye. And so when you want to transcend, you base your system of growth on abstract concepts that you cannot explain. You can't even explain them unconsciously or subconsciously, let alone consciously. So if you are trying to transcend from your pain, from your suffering, from your conventional or normal life or boring life, transcending, yes, the tenets of transcendence may be abstract to you now, but the way to get there isn't necessarily abstract. And I'm not going to tell you how to get there, and I'm not always there myself, obviously, but transcendence comes to those who eat when others don't eat, and to those who don't eat when others eat. And that's about as simple as I can explain it. It's the intuition that comes with conscious growth. So following a system into insanity is trying to live a life in abstract and unconventional ways just for the sake of transcendence. That will lead you to doing foolish things and drawing yourself further away from transcending your suffering. So I hope this helps. Thanks.